So this is the Titan functional trainer. As you can see on the bottom left, there's a 671 and a 781. I assume the 671 is the functional trainer weight, and the 781 is the functional with the pallet. There's a lot of nails and these little brackets around it. I used the hammer. And once you open it, I printed out the Titan Fitness manual instructions on the left, and the screws are on the right side, as you can see. That's what you get for screws. So when you look at the manual and you open it, you assume that there's a lot of screws that you have to put in place. But in reality, step 1 has only 8 screws, and it's only 4 parts that you're connecting together. Step 2, you're connecting 3 additional parts with 4 screws, in addition with other 4 screws for your legs. So right now I haven't really started my steps. I'm just letting you see that I'm putting my uprights up. I'm doing it by myself. Recommend to do it with 2 individuals, you and another person, or if you want more people. And I'm using a basket because I don't want it to fall down. In addition, I don't want it to lean towards the wall since I painted my walls even though they're not properly painted. So now that you see the first upright, I'm going to put the second upright. And the way you know what upright belongs on the right side, on the right, or on the left side, or the right side, it's the attachment. You know how you put the attachments to work out, the cable pulley and so on, and you lower it up and down, and there's a little knob that you release and you put it inside a hole. Well, the little knob has to go in the inside. And what I mean with the inside, I mean the inside as in the area you're doing exercise. The outside means the wall, the side of the wall. Another way you can find out is you can see right there, there's a number 13, 15, 17. They skip a number, but in reality, on the whole side, they basically skip a whole number. It's kind of tilted inward as well. That's how you also know what side is supposed to be on the left or on the right. And like I said, in step 1, there's 4 parts. These are 2 parts, what I consider 2 parts. Once we go to step 1, I'll show you what I mean with the other 2 parts. As for right now, I'm going to show you what's inside the box, this box. There's a lot of attachments. When I say attachments, I'm going to say exercise attachments. Or short for EA. EA right there. There's exercise attachment, another one. But in this box, there's a pulley. There's like 5 parts for steps. That pulley belongs on step 3. Those are for your safeguard. There are 8 of them. That's also for your step 3. That's another pulley. That's for your step 3. Those are for your weights, your weight plates to be so they don't hit your frame, your functional trainer frame. That's for your weights, so you could add or subtract weights. That's supposed to be on your step 3. That's your exercise attachments again. Those are kind of aluminum. They go on your rods. There's 2 rods on each side. And those are for your step 1 and your step 2. Remember those. I call those plates. I kind of want to say they're plates for your parts. So right here, as you can see, once again, these are your screws. Like I said, there's 4 of the long ones, and those 8 of them, those are your step 1. The 4 on the left, they're for your step 2, and the screws on top, which I don't know the amount, those are for your step 3. Those are for your safeguard. And what I mean with a safeguard is the safeguard that protects you from harming your fingers on the weight stacks. And then you got a lot of washers and so on. You get 2 Allen wrenches. One of the Allen wrenches is for your small screws, and the other one is for the little aluminum cup that goes on your weight plate. You also get a screw with a wrench, basically. So this is step 1. On step 1, like I said, there's 4 parts that you're connecting. On step 2, there's additional 3. That's a total of 7 in the first 2 steps. But we're not going to go ahead think about step 2. So we're going to go to step 1 right now. As you can see, is the left frame and the right frame with the middle frames that are going to connect it all together. On the middle frames, there's 2 of them. It doesn't matter if you put the whatever one on the top or the bottom, since both of them are the same size. The most important thing about this is remember that box I told you with attachments, and the thing that I told you to put for step 1, the little brackets, frames, or whatever you want to call them. Those little those things. The one that has 4 is the one that you use for step 1. One important thing that I recommend is to not tighten the screws all the way because you don't want to have them super tight. There's gonna be it's gonna make it more difficult to put the last ones in, because it's so tight that the holes are not matching, or you're gonna assume that the holes are not matching. So I recommend you to keep them loose. For me, I'm putting them all the way tight because I made a mistake and I didn't put the little plate. I didn't put the plates, which cost me to go back and unscrew it and screw it back in. The little wrench that comes with it, it makes it a little bit more difficult. That's why I'm using my own personal. If you have your own personal, of course, it's better. It's easier. If you don't have and you only have whatever they give you, it's gonna be difficult, but it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. But the job is gonna get done. For step 2, remember I said the first one has 4 parts. The second one has 3 parts. The first part is the frame on top, on the front, where you do pull-ups. And once again, on the attachments on the box, I said there was 2 additional plates, frames, that you're going to put on the back side. Once again, do not tighten them all the way until you get all the screws in. Once you do the top, you're going to put the legs, what I call the extra legs, the little small legs on the front. And the way you know which one goes on the left and the right, they're supposed to be facing inward. They're going to be tilted. So for right now, I'm showing you screwing out the top. The 4 long screws that I told you that for step 2. Those are the ones. They're the longer ones, since you're using the side frame, the long side of the side frames. And on the bottom, as you can see, the little leg or the leg is tilted. And those two screws right there, don't panic if you can't find them in the little cardboard where all the screws were in, because those come attached. All you have to do is unscrew them, put the leg, screw them back in. Once again, do not tighten them because it's going to make it more difficult. At that point, I decided to take a break between the steps, and I'm just putting all my attachments. I also bought some magnets because there was so many attachments. Step 3. Now, this is the one that has the most parts, small parts. Those are little black round. I call them little bumpers, so they don't damage the frame. That's where that's where the weight plates are gonna go in. As you can see, I put the rods inside the black rubber things, and then I put all the weight stacks, which are 19 of them per side. Sometimes they're a little bit difficult to slide down because there's these little black it's hard to explain how they look like, but they have a little teeth. They got teeth, and it makes it sometimes gets stuck if you don't have them even. Of course, once you put them all correctly in the frame and you attach it to everything, the pulley system is going to be smooth. So once you put all 19 of them, you're going to put the final piece, and on that one there's a little round black circle that I was pointing at. That's the one that you're going to put inward. So after you put the final piece, those round, I call them aluminum, are the ones that are going to hold the rod to the frame. Now, the small L wrench that they gave you is the one that you're going to use to unscrew the aluminum, the little screw from the aluminum. Don't try to unscrew it all the way out. It might fall or whatever the case might be. So just unscrew it so it could just slide down. Once it slides down, you're going to put it back in, put it back up where the hole is at, and screw it. Once you screw it, it's going to hold the weights. The rod is going to hold the weights in place. As you can see, I already unscrewed it. It's sliding down. Now I'm going to unscrew the other one, and then I'm going to lift it up and screw it to the holes on top. And as you can see on the far right, the knob right there by the cabinet or whatever it's called, the knob is supposed to be facing inward, and that's how you know that your frame is supposed to be correctly. That's for step 1, but we're in step 3 right now. So now that I screwed the first one, as you can see, I'm not worried about holding them and the weights falling, because now it's basically holding it in place. Even though there's small screws and everything, you're not tilting it no more. So the weights are good and they won't tilt. So now that the weights are in there, make sure you put your pin in, the one that you release your weight, because then you're going to put the pulley And on the pulley, you have to put it, don't put it super tight and don't make it loose. Because if you put it super tight or excessive tight, once you put the cable and you release the weight, it's going to lift it up. And it's going to be, all the time you're going to try to lower your weight down so you can put the pin in. Now, if you make it loose, that means that your attachment where your exercises are at, the cable is going to be a little bit loose over there. So you have to get it in between tight and kind of loose. Wow, more tight than loose. And I'll show you right now. On this side, as you can see, it's a little bit tight that I have to push it a little bit down and then put the screw in. But not tight enough that the weight will go up. And once you're done with the you screw the pulley in. These are the ones that came in the box where all the exercise attachments came in. There's a total of 8, 4 in each side. These are the ones that are you're gonna connect the screws, the little small screws, for your safeguard to your main frame. I'm doing 2 at once. I did them hand tight, and as you can see on that side, I already have one of the safeguards in, and on the bottom, that's where you screw the safeguard with the little screws that I showed you. And there's screws also on the inside, and so on. Now, for the safeguard, it doesn't matter which one you use, since all of them look identical. Even though on the inside of the frame, going towards where the exercise attachments are hanging, there's a little hole that connects the frames. On the stickers, I recommend you also to pull them all together and just stick them instead of one by one, so they don't have to. They'll look more even if you do that. The only one that is not that you have to stick individually is the one on top, because the weight is smaller. The 10 pound. As you can see, that's the second safeguard, and the screws, as you can see on the bottom. Assembling the functional trainer is easy. There's 3 types of screws. Don't know the size, but the largest size, there is 4 of them. The second largest size, there's 8 of them, 4 on each side. And then there's 16 little small ones that put this little safety guard or whatever it's meant to be, but I assume it's a safety guard. Not only that, it comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts besides the weight stack. So 7 parts plus that you need to connect. Then you're going to head to the weight stack area, which is 19 on each side of the weight stack. There's 19, then 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 more items in each side, which is 48 other pieces that you need to connect. So the weight stack is the one with the most pieces. In addition, there's also little small ones like the little safety pins, the other safety pin, and the little screw things on the bottom to connect these. And the little plates, but those are just other little things. Overall, it's an easy project to do. A little bit heavy. I did it by myself, but having a partner would be